As you know, over the past couple of months, I have been offline. After I posted my last video, which was holding myself accountable, I felt as though it was really important for me to actually hold myself accountable and take a major step away and do a lot of work behind the scenes until I was ready to come back. And the last 3.5 months now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, have been really weird.
How do you go from being YouTube's most famous makeup guru to being the most disliked person on the internet? Well, James Charles knows all about it. Just 2 years ago, James Charles was on top of the world. His mega popular YouTube channel had racked up millions of followers in record time, and celebrities were lining up to do collab videos with him. However, by late 2021, James Charles had already been involved in so many controversies that everyone thought it was only a matter of time till he got canceled. Just when the controversy surrounding James's highly publicized feud with fellow beauty blogger Tati Westbrook died down, James found himself at the center of some very disturbing allegations. As a result, he lost lucrative partnerships with big name brands, and YouTube temporarily demonetized his channel. But despite losing subscribers and followers in droves, James Charles still has a huge platform. But has James really managed to bounce back, or is his career pretty much over at this point? James Charles Dickinson was born on May 23rd, 1999 in Bethlehem, New York. He showed interest in beauty products at a young age and would often do his friends' hair and makeup for fun. James made his social media debut after one of his friends asked him to do her makeup and then shared a photo of the finished look on Instagram. After receiving a ton of positive feedback, James said he decided to order a basic starter set online and started practicing on clients. His Instagram page, James Charles Beauty, was an instant success after his followers started begging him to teach them how to recreate his makeup looks. James decided to start recording full-length makeup tutorials. At the age of 16, James created a YouTube channel, and in March 2016, he shared his first video titled Blue Brown Serpent Makeup Tutorial. This video blew up overnight, and just months later, James became the first male brand ambassador for CoverGirl. Shortly after scoring the CoverGirl deal, James started his own clothing and makeup collection, and by early 2019, his YouTube channel already had 10 million subscribers. He started doing collab videos with celebrities like Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian, and in March 2019, he appeared in Iggy Azalea's music video for Sally Walker. After the video came out, James announced he was going on the Sisters tour all over the US, but less than a month later, the tour was canceled following James's public feud with Tati Westbrook. And at this moment, James's career started to unravel, one scandal at a time. By the time he fell out with Tati, James had already been involved in a number of controversies. He faced his first major backlash in February of 2017 when he joked about catching the Ebola virus while visiting South Africa. In a since-deleted tweet, James wrote, "I can't believe we're going to Africa today. OMG, what if we get Ebola? James, we're fine. We could have gotten it at Chipotle last year." Many fans blasted James for his ignorant tweet, and they called out CoverGirl for choosing him as their ambassador. But James was unapologetic. He first started blocking everyone on Twitter who criticized him, and only after receiving intense backlash from fans, he shared an apology statement. James basically said that he effed up and he didn't mean to offend anyone, but in the same breath, he called Africa a country. "I am traveling to Africa today with a few friends for a school trip. Ironically enough, it's an educational trip because we know very little about the country, but are eager to learn," James wrote. He also said he only shared the Ebola tweet to make fun of his friend's mistake and deleted it hoping it would go away. James claimed he recognized his white privilege as a cis male and would never take it for granted again. "I don't want anyone to think I don't care or am not sorry," James wrote, before adding, "I feel awful for posting what I said. I understand why what I said was offensive and ignorant. I look forward to exploring the country and learning much more about the people and culture because clearly I know very little and have a lot to learn." But James just couldn't stay away from controversy for too long, and just 9 months later, he got into a public spat with cast members of the movie It. In a series of since-deleted tweets, James called It awful and predictable, and he said he was texting his friend throughout the movie. A few days later, child actor Finn Wolfhard, who stars in It, replied to James' tweet and called him out for being on his phone during the movie. "Why are you on your phone in the movie theater? Rule number 1. James then responded by saying he was kinda honored to be dragged by a legendary child actor. And he also shared a 2-minute long video in which he apologized to Finn and everyone involved in making it. Now, you have to admit that James kinda had a point there, and people really took his comments about it too seriously. But the bigger problem was that James clearly just loved stirring the pot. Because just 1 month later, he shared an It-inspired makeup tutorial on YouTube, and this time, he was called out by another It actor, Wyatt Olef. When you decide to exploit a movie that you hate for money and attention, because why not? Olef wrote on Twitter. And before the dust had even settled from the It drama, James got involved in yet another celebrity feud, but this time he went toe-to-toe with Ariana Grande. On March 30th, 2018, James uploaded a YouTube video with vloggers Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams, and about 11 minutes into the video, Shane asks James to name the rudest celebrity he's ever met, and here's how quickly James blurted out Ariana's name.
Hey, who's been the rudest celebrity you've ever met?
Ariana Grande.
Shane and Rylan then asked James to elaborate a bit, and James claimed that Ariana was initially really nice to him, but when fans called her out for talking to him in the middle of the Ebola tweet scandal, Ariana quickly unfollowed him. And of course, Ariana-nators, they immediately jumped to Ari's defense and said she did the right thing by unfollowing James. After James complained on Twitter about Ariana's fans attacking him, one fan replied, "James Charles is mad because Ariana fans told Ariana about his racist behavior and now he's upset." And another Twitter user wrote, "James Charles ignores the fact that Ariana Grande had a valid reason to no longer associate with him because he said racist things and still makes her seem like a villain." James Charles also plays the victim and acts like she unfollowed him for no reason or sympathy. But okay, sis. And it didn't take long before it turned out that Ariana really did do the right thing by unfollowing James, because boy, he just kept digging himself a deeper hole. Just a month after he dissed Ari, James came after Marlena Stell, the founder of the beauty brand Makeup Geek, and accused her of stealing his idea for a documentary. After Marlena announced on Twitter that she was working on a Netflix documentary about the beauty industry, James responded saying, "Wait, what?" He then tweeted at Netflix asking them to let him make an unbiased documentary on the behind the scenes of the beauty industry and why the community is plummeting. And in a follow-up tweet, James wrote, "Everything that I put my heart and love and a ton of work into is always stolen by someone else. I feel so defeated right now, it's insane." However, fans were pretty quick to call out James for being bitter, and as for Marlena, she kept it classy and responded to James by saying she was approached by Netflix and that it would be great for him to be featured in her documentary. Of course, James refused the peace offering and continued to throw shade on her at Twitter, claiming that Marlena, who, by the way, is about 20 years older than him, knows nothing about the industry other than blaming her bad business decisions and personal issues on influencers. At this point, fans had already started saying they'd had enough of James's arrogant and entitled attitude, but the controversies didn't stop there, and James kept getting exposed for doing increasingly more problematic things. On April 2019, he was called out for being transphobic after he said he's not full gay because he's attracted to trans men. And then that same month, YouTuber Gage Gomez publicly accused James of manipulating him. After James and Gage were spotted together at Coachella, one of James's Twitter followers asked him if he was taken, and James responded, "Nope, unfortunately, I am still very single. This boy played me for months on end and is a disgusting con artist. I'm thankful I had my friends with me to protect me." But then Gage decided to set the record straight in 2 videos that he shared on YouTube. Gage called James' response on Twitter slanderous and denied being a clout chaser. But then in another video, Gage went into more details about what happened between him and James and claimed that after he exchanged a few friendly DMs, James tried to manipulate him.
Skewed from the truth. And the person who made this tweet obviously realized that. And maybe if they didn't realize that, they understood that it was aggressive and maybe the wrong thing to do, and they deleted it.
At that point, James had already publicly bragged about being into straight men, and fans started making compilation videos of James making straight men uncomfortable and flirting with them even after they communicated they weren't interested. And then Tati Westbrook joined the conversation. The drama between Tati and James started in April 2019 at Coachella when James posted an Instagram story promoting Sugar Bear Hair, a direct competitor to Tati's supplement brand, Halo Beauty. Tati saw this as a betrayal. Not just because Sugar Brand Hair is her competitor, but also because she and her husband did a lot to help James during his come up. In response to James promoting Sugar Bear, Tati shared an Instagram story looking visibly upset and said, "Everybody says what they need to say and uses who they need to use, and I have had about enough." James then shared a story apologizing to Tati and claimed that he only agreed to promote Sugar Bear because the brand helped him with security at Coachella, and he also denied taking any money for his promo post. But Tati didn't buy this excuse, and on May 10th of 2019, she uploaded the infamous 43-minute video called "Bye Sister" to her YouTube channel and publicly ended her longtime friendship with James. Tati claimed that James had blindsided her because he previously claimed he hated Sugar Bear, and he allegedly made fun of influencers who promoted it. Tati also touched on James's feud with Marlene Estelle, calling him out for trying to shame the woman who paved the way for young influencers like him.
Community. Like, do you think you're better than everyone? Because you're not. I think something that I'm really big on is respect, and it was really hard to see the way he was treating Marlena from Makeup Geek. Like, I did not like that. I also don't think that it's cool to publicly shame a woman who paved the way. Get off your high horse and have some respect. You don't have any for the people who are in this industry longer than you, and that's the sad fact.
But she didn't stop there. She also talked about James's weird obsession with trying to turn straight men gay. And she said that one time at her birthday party, James kept aggressively flirting with the waiter he knew was straight. Now, this is where some fans took issue with Tati. They accused her of turning a blind eye to James's problematic behavior for years, and they said she only decided to speak up against him because he promoted her competitor. Hours after Tati uploaded her "Bye Sister" video, James apologized to Tati and her husband in a video of his own called "Tati," and he acknowledged that he made a lot of boys uncomfortable by interacting with them in an inappropriate way. But then another beauty guru decided to insert himself into the drama. By now you guys probably know I'm about to talk about Jeffree Star. Jeffree took to Twitter to stir the pot and claimed that his then boyfriend Nathan had banned James from coming to their home because James is a danger to society. There's a reason that Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming over to our home again, Star wrote. There's a reason why I haven't seen him since Glam Life Guru's birthday in February. He is a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100% true. After taking notice of Star's tweet, Swedish singer Zara Larsson also chimed in, claiming that James had hit up her boyfriend. "I'm cackling because he hit up my boyfriend in the DM several times, knowing damn well he's straight," Zara wrote. The BBC reported at the time that James lost over 1 million subscribers after Tati shared her "Bye Sister" video, and a number of celebs unfollowed James on social media, including all of the Kardashian-Jenner sisters, Demi Lovato, Katy Perry, and Miley Cyrus. But then the whole situation got even messier. In the weeks following her public fallout with James, Tati shared another video titled "Why I Did It," and said she was tired of the drama and wanted all the online hate from both sides to stop. Tati claims she only decided to upload the video because James was, quote, unreachable and she couldn't get through to him. But then James also decided to share another video titled "No More Lies." James claimed he had no hard feelings towards Tati, but he also said that a lot had happened behind the scenes that Tati didn't mention in her video. James doubled down on his claims that he only promoted Sugar Bear Hair because they had helped him with security at Coachella, and he denied orchestrating the scheme beforehand. James then pulled out the receipts showing that he did reach out to Tati before he shared his Sugar Bear promotional story. James also showed screenshots of messages he sent to Tati and her husband before issuing a public apology and claimed he received no response from them. And James also exposed Tati for lying about him refusing to promote her products on his socials. As for Tati's claims that James is obsessed with cracking other men's sexuality, James blamed his behavior on his young age and lack of experience and denied using his celebrity status to manipulate guys. James also denied behaving inappropriately with the straight waiter at Tati's birthday dinner and pointed out that the waiter was bisexual, and he found the flirting flattering. In fact, James and the waiter both confirmed they hooked up later that night at James's hotel room. James also said that many people who commented on the drama were hypocritical, and he accused them of perpetuating dangerous stereotypes about gay men. James's video, "No More Lies," instantly went viral. and at that time, James still had a lot of vocal supporters defending him on social media. Many fans praised James for handling the situation in a mature way, despite being just 19 when the whole Tati situation happened. One fan commented on James's video, "James is being trolled by adults. He is so mature for his age." And another person wrote, "He was 19 and these losers were in their 30s, 40s. Let that sink in." And honestly, it did seem like everyone involved in the Tati scandal was being a little too dramatic, and James did make some solid arguments in his No More Lies video. But then this happened.
James Charles snapped me on Snapchat. He added me back because I had snapped him a while ago, just like a fan to influencer conversation. I was excited because he's my biggest influencer-wise, and I've always looked up to him, so I was excited to get his message back. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna post proof of it right now. This is the notification that I got when he Snapchatted me first. And just for further proof, he deleted the chat. I don't know what he deleted, but that's me opening his Snapchat. I went into the bathroom, and I guess he saw the bathroom light, so he started making the conversation very sexual, and it made me really uncomfortable. And I'll post some of the stuff that he sent me now. You can't see it because it's blurry, because I took it on my iPad, because I didn't want him to see that I screenshotted it, but I'll post it right now.
The person in the clip you just watched is a 16-year-old boy named Isaiah who in February 2021 exposed James for sending him inappropriate texts and photos, pressuring him to respond despite knowing his age. James initially denied everything and responded in a tweet saying these accusations are completely false. James claimed that Isaiah sent him lewd photos, and when he asked Isaiah how old he was, Isaiah told him he was 18. James said he responded to Isaiah because he was excited to be flirting with someone new, and it never occurred to him that Isaiah might be lying about his age. He also accused Isaiah of having an ulterior motive and claimed he unfriended him as soon as he found out his real age. Because of situations like this, James concluded, instead of taking everyone's word for it, I will now ask to see the ID or passport of every guy I have a conversation with. But come on, James Charles has been an influencer since he was 15, so it's kind of hard to believe he would be this naive, especially since he had already faced some serious allegations concerning his behavior around boys. Anyway, it didn't take long before more alleged victims came forward and accused James of sending them inappropriate photos and pressuring them to text him back. In April 2021, James finally responded to the controversy in a video titled "Holding Myself Accountable." James apologized to everyone he had hurt, and he admitted to sending inappropriate messages to 2 different people, both under the age of 18. But he again denied knowing the boy's real age at the time. In the meantime, YouTube demonetized James's channel, and beauty retailer Morph released a statement saying that they would cut all business ties with James. And although James claimed in his apology video that he accepts full responsibility for what he did, he later deleted the video and disappeared on social media. But only for a short time. On July 2nd, 2021, James returned to YouTube with another long explanatory video titled "An Open Conversation" and claimed he used the hiatus to work on himself and grow as a person. While doing his makeup, James talked on and on about how he just wanted to move forward. He again claimed the boys he had messaged on Snapchat all lied about their age. However, he admitted it was on him as an adult to make sure he wasn't doing anything inappropriate. And though James insisted he was holding himself accountable for the rest of the video, all he talked about was how the situation affected him. He complained on and on about how people took advantage of his social media break to create false stories about him. As for why he didn't share any receipts to prove his innocence like he previously did with the Tati Westbrook situation, James said he felt like people wouldn't believe him anyway. However, by this point, the damage had already been done. And just days after James uploaded an open conversation video, Forbes published a report saying the video charted among YouTube's most disliked ever. And Forbes also predicted that James would lose millions in annual earnings after Morph cut ties with him. But have all these controversies really ruined his career? Well, James is still very much active on social media, and almost all the videos he uploaded to his YouTube channel after sharing the July 2021 apology video have made between 2 and 5 million views. Sure, James definitely suffered a major setback and lost a few million followers in the process, but he still has a lot of supporters. His current subscriber count is close to 24 million. In other words, James Charles is still making a lot of money from YouTube. How is that possible? Why wasn't James canceled after being exposed for inappropriately texting multiple boys under 18? This This is something that a lot of fans on social media have been wondering about, and they just can't wrap their minds around the fact that James Charles still has such a huge platform. Wait, people still stan James Charles? One confused fan recently tweeted. Another Twitter user asked, why are we still giving people like James Charles attention and a platform? And now some fans are saying the whole James Charles situation proves that cancel culture ain't real. One fan said, the moment I knew cancel culture was fake was when James Charles was canceled for texting minors and they came back to YouTube a month later as if nothing happened. And another fan added, cancel culture isn't real at all. A celeb can get canceled and then a few weeks later they're back to normal. James Charles is the best example. But I want to hear your opinions on this. Why do you think James Charles still has a platform after everything he's done? Who was enabling this guy? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you like this video, make sure you check out the next one.